Hello everyone, this is Seher from EasyPeasy, and the topic that we are going to discuss today is called as glycogenesis. Glycogenesis by the name is telling us that this is the process of production of glycogen. Glycogen is nothing else but made up of repetitive units of glucose. So glucose is a monomer and glycogen is a polymer made up of glucose. Okay, now this glucose usually comes in our body by the food that we eat. So generally the carbohydrate that is made from this food usually converts itself into energy, that is the ATP or adenosine triphosphate. But if we take too much of that carbohydrate in our food, then the excess amount of that carbohydrate will convert itself into glycogen and stored in our liver cells, muscle cells, brain cells, heart cells, kidney cells, and fat cells. Inside the cell, the conversion of glucose into glycogen usually occurs in the cytoplasm of the cell. And it also comes under the category of anabolism because glucose is a monomer and it will use energy and will convert itself into glycogen, that is the polymer. So the energy that they are going to use will be in the form of adenosine triphosphate or ATP and uridine triphosphate or UTP. Now let's start discussing the process. So in the first step, glucose that comes from our diet will convert itself into glucose 6-phosphate. This will be done with the help of ATP. ATP will convert itself into ADP by releasing an inorganic phosphate. This inorganic phosphate will attach itself with carbon number 6 here. That's why this compound is called as glucose 6-phosphate. And this reaction will be catalyzed by an enzyme that will be called as glucokinase or hexokinase. Next is step 2. In step 2, now we have glucose 6-phosphate. This glucose 6-phosphate, with the help of an enzyme that is phosphoglucomutase, will convert itself into glucose 1-phosphate. Now, in this compound, this inorganic phosphate shifts its place from carbon number 6 to carbon number 1 here. Step 3. In step 3, now we have glucose 1-phosphate. And at this point, it will react with uridine triphosphate. As a result, it will convert itself into uridine diphosphoglucose or UDP-glucose by releasing 2 phosphate group in the form of pyrophosphate. Now this compound is highly unstable because it has a high energy phosphoanhydride bond there. This overall reaction will be catalyzed by an enzyme and that will be called as glucose 1-phosphate uridyl transferase or UDP-glucose pyrophosphorylase. Now, this pyrophosphate that is highly unstable will convert itself into 2 inorganic phosphates by releasing energy. Step 4. In step 4, now we have uridine diphosphoglucose or UDP-glucose. At this point, there will be an entry of a protein, and the protein that is going to enter this process will be called as glycogenin. Glycogenin is a homodimer enzyme, and it has this tyrosine amino acid at the position 194 that will provide the opportunity to this glucose molecule to attach itself with glycogenin. So this reaction will occur like this. Now, this compound will be called as uridine diphosphate, and glucose will attach itself with the protein that is glycogenin. By this way, another UDP-glucose will come, and again, this glucose will get the opportunity to attach itself with the first glucose. When these two glucose molecules will make a bond with each other, then that bond will be called as alpha-1,4 glycosidic bond. So by this way, glycogenin one by one take glucose from uridine diphosphoglucose up to 6 or 7 glucose units. At this point, we will talk about step 5, and another enzyme will enter that will help in the attachment of more glucose molecule to this chain, and that enzyme is called as glycogen synthase. Now, glycogen synthase requires an oligosaccharide primer as glucose acceptor. So, it relies on glycogenin to start the process by autocatalysis. So, glycogen synthase enzyme keep attaching glucose molecule to the chain and make a polysaccharide chain. At this point, we need another enzyme. So this is the step 6 for us. In step 6, we have another enzyme, and this enzyme is called as glycogen branching enzyme. This enzyme will also be known as brancher enzyme or 1,4-alpha-glucan branching enzyme. In humans, they will be encoded by the gene GBE1. Now, what this enzyme will do, it will take the glucose molecules from the end of the chain and will make a branch on this compound by generating a bond, and that is alpha-1,6 glycosidic bond. Then glycogen synthase will come back and attach more glucose units to each chain. And this compound will look like this. Now, in this picture, we can see all these orange circles is the last glucose molecule, which will be called as non-reducing end of this chain. So at these points, we can attach more glucose molecule. Then we have these blue circles here that are representing the branch point generated by branching enzyme. The glucose residues that are present between each branch will be approximately 12 to 13 residues. And both glycogen synthase and glycogen branching enzyme will keep adding glucose molecule and will keep adding branches to this compound until this compound will look like this. Now, in this structure, this gray circle is representing that this is the glycogenin protein. We can see that there are 5 layers here, and these layers can go up to 12. And all the chains are of same length. And when more glucose molecule will attach itself to it, then the final looking form of glycogen will be like this, in which glycogenin protein is here. And this compound can take approximately 30,000 glucose units. And we are looking for this compound. That's it for now. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like it, please subscribe our channel. Thank you. Bye-bye.